What's up, guys? It's me, Jammin' Music Man, and I'm pretty sure by now we've all heard about the passing of one of the all-time greats in professional wrestling, Leon White, better known to the wrestling world as Big Van Vader. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the life and the career of Leon White Vader. And I've got some DVDs here that I'm going to recommend to you guys that you go check out. But just wanted to talk about Vader. You know, he was one of my all-time favorite monster heels, and I mean, he had some classic matches with Sting and Mick Foley and Hogan, Flair, Shawn Michaels, and you know, back during the 90s, he was one of the top heels that, you know, even though he was the bad guy, you know, he was one of the cool bad guys. And of course, who could forget the Vader salt? I mean, he was, what, 300-something pounds and doing a backwards flip. Not too many big guys like that could do that. And still to this day, not a lot of big guys can, you know, did what Vader did back in the day. But, you know, let's talk about, you know, his life before wrestling. A lot of people didn't know this, that Vader actually played professional football. That's right, he was in the NFL and he played for the LA Rams. And I want to say he actually played in the Super Bowl. I want to say it was Super Bowl 14. So this maybe been like 79, 80, 81, somewhere around that time. And the Rams, they played the Steelers in that Super Bowl and they actually won. And I believe Vader, you know, he got a Super Bowl ring. And, you know, I think he played for the Rams for a couple of seasons. And of course, you know, he got injured. And, you know, what's a football player to do after you get injured? You know, of course, you get to professional wrestling. And he joined the AWA back in the early to mid 80s. And he wrestled as Baby Bull Leon White. And he was a baby face during this time. And then he would later go to Japan to wrestle in New Japan Wrestling. And that's where he, you know, got the whole Big Van Vader gimmick. Now, I want to say it was in his debut match as Vader, he beat Antonio Inoki in, like, you know, maybe like less than 5 minutes, I believe. And when he beat Antonio Inoki, there was a near riot was going to break out, because Antonio Inoki in Japan, you know, he was bigger than Hulk Hogan. He was like Babe Ruth in Japan. And of course that got a lot of, you know, news for him at the time. And he was a big monster heel for New Japan, you know, from like 88, 89, 90. And, you know, he had that infamous match where he took on Stan the Lariat Hansen, where I want to say this was like 1990. And of course, this is the match where Stan Hansen knocked Vader's eyeball out of its socket. And, you know, it's a pretty gruesome match. You know, I highly recommend checking it out. And of course, he joined WCW around 90 and 91. And, you know, by 92, he was like one of the top monster heels in WCW. And of course, he was the WCW champ, I want to say maybe 3 times, from like 92 to 93. You know, he had classic matches with Sting and, you know, Cactus Jack. And, you know, of course, you know, back like 94, 95, that's when he had his feud with Hulk Hogan. And of course, I want to say by 95, he was done with WCW. And by 96, I want to say it was that Royal Rumble 96 is when Vader made his debut in the WWF. And then the next night on Raw, he attacked Gorilla Monsoon. And of course, you know, at the time he was, you know, banned from the WWF. But of course, you know, he came back. But he never won the WWF Championship. He never won any titles in the WWF. But when he was in WCW, he was the WCW champ, like I said, like 3 times. And, you know, he was the U.S. champ at one time. And, you know, after his WWF career was over around like 98, he went back to Japan and he wrestled for All Japan Wrestling. And I believe he wrestled for All Japan until like maybe the mid-2000s. And then, you know, he's been retired ever since. Alright guys, I got some DVDs here that I'm going to recommend to you guys that feature some of Vader's all-time greatest matches. So hopefully you guys will go and check out these matches. I mean, these are some classic matches that feature Vader. And this one right here, it's from Starrcade 92. You get Vader taking on Sting in the King of Cable tournament final. One of their best matches in their classic feud that they had. Another one, it's Sting taking on Vader from Slamboree 94. This was when Rick Rude suffered his career-ending injury, and they vacated the WCW International title. And of course, you know, the two contenders for the international belt were Sting and Vader, and of course Sting won. This next one right here, it's Halloween Havoc 93. You get Big Van Vader taking on Cactus Jack in a spin the wheel, make the deal match, which I believe turned out to be a Texas death match. Great match. And of course, Cactus Jack and Vader, they had a great feud back in 93, and I recommend checking this one out. And this next one right here, I gotta say, this is probably my favorite Sting Vader match from back in the day, and it's from Super Brawl 3. It's the White Castle of Fear strap match. This one's really brutal, and you're going to see some blood in here. And of course, you know, it's Sting and Vader in a strap match. Classic stuff right here, and I highly recommend go checking this one out. And also, maybe some of you guys might remember, I got this Blu-ray here a couple of months ago from a great website called ivpvideos.com, and I'll put a link in the description box if you want to pick up this Blu-ray. But it's the best of Big Van Vader Volume 1 in Japan. You get a lot of classic matches of Vader during his time in Japan back in the late 80s, early 90s, all the way up until his return in 99. You get Vader taking on Tatsumi Fujinami for the IWGP Heavyweight title. You get that classic match where Stan Hansen knocks Vader's eyeball out of socket. It's on this Blu-ray set. You get Vader taking on Ricky Choshu. You get Big Van Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow teaming up. Just some classic stuff. You get Vader taking on Kenta Kobashi, another Japanese legend. This is a great Blu-ray right here if you're a Vader fan, and it's about a 6-hour-long disc, I believe, but I highly recommend picking this one up. Like I said, link will be in the description box if you're interested. It's only like $9.99. But those are, guys, in closing, I hope you'll leave a comment below sharing what was your favorite memories of Big Van Vader. What was your favorite moments that he had in wrestling? What was your favorite match that he had? I'd like to know. I hope you guys will go check out some of these matches that I recommend. And of course, like I said, I'll put a link in the description box for anybody who wants to check out Big Van Vader in Japan Volume 1. Classic Blu-ray right here, 5 stars. And be sure to like this video. And in closing, rest easy, big man. You'll be missed and you won't be forgotten. And now we can say it'll always be Vader time.